Hey everybody, welcome back. David Eon and the Stunning Mist Lady Pop Hunter here with another fading nostalgia discussion. Fading nostalgia discussion. As we get older and there's things that we long for that seem like they no longer exist, or they're just sort of disappearing, or they're being crushed. And we came up with this because we went out to a community yard sale and went to a few other yard sales afterwards. And just thinking about how impossible that's gotten over the last few years. You go to these yard sales and it's all the same. And coming up out of an era where, you know, when I was doing more dealing, if you will, in especially the 90s, every yard sale you hit, you found stuff. You found comic books, you found toys, you found action figures, you found vinyl records, you found tons of great stuff. You don't see that anymore. You find lawn furniture and baby clothes and broken tools and things from people's woodworking projects. Like, how many yard sales have we been to where they have like all kinds of kitchen cabinets and stuff? It looks like they found them on the side of the road. Or they have like brand new like Ryobi weed whackers, like 50. We had this one guy where it is went by the yard sale. He had like 30 of the damn things.
He was selling them for $10 each.
Yeah. And they were loose. Those were loose though.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm talking like in the boxed versions.
Yeah.
Or boxes. Somebody had unopened boxes of air conditioners.
Yeah. And the one guy, he had a bunch of unopened dehumidifiers.
Oh, that's right.
And
like, where is this stuff coming from?
The baby clothes, furniture, that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. I expect to see that kind of stuff at a yard sale. But like he said, we went to the community yard sale. And, you know, around this time of the year, you have a lot of them. And then they have the ones for the counties or maybe your city. Yeah. And this one city was having one. And they had a bunch of vendors, I guess you want to call them.
Yeah, it looks like the flea market.
Yeah, because you go and like, oh, okay, community yard sale. The one around us is like a yard sale. I mean, people are out there with stuff that you can tell they used, and they no longer want. This place, we went out there, and they had semi-containers opened up. This one person had brand new jeans, still with the tags on it.
Yeah, totes full of them.
Yeah. I mean, literally 3 totes full of jeans, and they were nice jeans with the tags on it. And then another person had a bunch of lawn tools, like the lawn mower, the weed whacker, or the weed eater. They had the power drill still in the box, never used. Yeah. And you're like, when did yard sale become
side business?
I mean, tools is fine. Yeah, we no longer need these tools. Dad died, uncle died, and they had a bunch of tools. And you look at the tools and you could tell that, okay, this person looked like they built a house with these tools. It's used, not the tools we saw. Them tools was brand new, never been touched. And it's like, when did yard sales start becoming like you said, the flea market, where you get brand new stuff like that? And I went to my sewing group on Tuesday, and they asked me, hey, where were you on Saturday? And I was like, oh, we went to a community yard sale. And it was like, how is that? And I told them, and it was like, yeah, that's just awful. You see that a lot now. You know, that began the conversation there. Yeah. And I don't know. It was disappointing. It was very disappointing.
And that spills over not just like yard sales or garage sales, but the flea markets, at the you already know, the thrift stores. I mean, and you see people, they claim they found stuff. I don't believe them half the time when they say they found something in these places, because there's just nothing. We never hardly have any luck. Although we did find at one of the yard sales a lunchbox.
Yeah, that looked like a used lunchbox. Yeah. Somebody took their lunch in that thing.
This is a Thermos brand lunchbox. I think it's the rustic brown, because it's not a character lunchbox at all. But we found this because, of course, she collects lunchboxes. And it's like, okay, that's something. But, you know.
Yeah, one lady had DVDs. She went like $3 a piece. And it's like, man.
That's more than Goodwill.
Yeah. Value Village, that's for $1.
Yeah. And they weren't even good ones.
No, they weren't.
But it's like, what the hell happened to that market? Why does everybody want to turn it into a side business? I could speculate that some of it is like storage locker stuff. And we know how all that went. You know, I've talked about this before. The reality shows like Storage Wars and like American Pickers and things like that have really kind of destroyed that entire genre of Americana, if you will, because they gave unrealistic expectations. And keep in mind, these shows are fake. Okay, they truly are fake. The like the Storage Wars, and I've told this story before, and I can't remember who it was, but he was in an interview, and he was talking about how it destroyed the business. He was like, you know, I used to go and get these lockers. He said before that show, lockers were like $10, $15, maybe $20. Nobody wanted them. And so he could go and clear out 100 lockers and, you know, do whatever. And now people are bidding hundreds, thousands on a locker and don't even know what's in there. And most of the time it's like lawn furniture and boxes of Christmas ornaments and garbage. And when you watch the show and he has his 3 or so lockers, he's like, I've bought 20, and they're showing the 2 or 3 best ones, and they're not even that good. Because most of the time, you know, when it was like $10-15, who cares if you got a bunch of junk? You could yard sale it or drop it off at Goodwill. Yeah. But when you're paying hundreds for it and you're not getting anything out of it, or they plant stuff in there, which he admitted to. It's like, okay, you know, so, I found this long box of comics. It wasn't there before. Stuff like that. And it's given really unrealistic expectations. I think a lot of times people buy those lockers out now and they get stuck with a bunch of junk.
Yeah. And you see flea markets open. It's a flea market near us. And when you walk in there, you can tell that this stuff came out of a storage locker because you can just tell. I mean, you can tell. And the people are like, hey, we just got this in and all of that. And it's like, I don't want none of this stuff. It's always furniture, baby furniture, stuff like that, baby clothes, a bunch of strollers and stuff like that. And I don't know, it just took the wind out of me when we went, because once we left the community yard sale, we passed a bunch of like regular yard sales along the way.
It was the same stuff.
Like we stopped at one and the guy had a bunch of weed eaters. We drove by another one and we were, you know, about to park, and we looked and they had all lawn care equipment.
A row of 20 lawnmowers. Yeah. It's like, what the hell is this, the pawn shop? On top of just the lockers, though, I mean, a lot of those shows, like American Pickers, gives unrealistic expectations of value. Also, I used to watch that show, and they'd price stuff out, and especially if they came to a toy item, and I'd be like, wait a minute, that's not worth that much. You know, you can get that on eBay for $100 all day long. You're sitting there saying, I bought it for $3 and sold it for $500. No, you didn't. That's impossible. Not in that condition. There's no way. And of course, again, it is fake. Or like Pawn Stars, we've talked about that. I talked to a guy who was an actor in Las Vegas, and he says, if you watch that show, I know pretty much everybody in the background there because they're all actors, and that pawn shop is a set. That's not the actual pawn shop. And all the people that come in and appraise stuff, and people that come in and bring something in for them to look at, all of that's arranged. It's a lie. The show's a complete fallacy. But again, it gives these unrealistic expectations of what people think they can get for things, and now they're all experts. Yeah. Or you go to an estate sale. People used to just run an estate sale. Now they hire a crew to come in and appraise everything. And they want to try to get top eBay dollar for everything in the house.
And it's not worth it. We actually stopped at an estate sale. and it was ran by the family.
Yeah.
And they had everything priced to sell. They just wanted to get the house cleaned out so that they could paint it and clean it to sell.
They
and
didn't have nothing interesting.
Yeah, they didn't have nothing.
Yeah.
But they were running it. And they said, yeah, everything's priced to sell. We need to get it out of here so we can prepare the house to
sell. And I was surprised because I was like, it's the first time in years I had been to an estate sale and there wasn't like a booth with a cash register set up.
Yeah.
And people going around with like a ticker thing, price and stuff. And it's like it's a store. So that was a pleasant surprise.
It was.
Actually.
It was.
Even though we didn't see anything useful there to us. But
yeah, nothing we wanted, but it was still nice to see. But
yeah, it's a shame the direction that's gone in, especially, and like I said, it falls into all of it, the flea markets, the thrift stores or charity shops, they call it overseas. And they're all experts. Everybody's a damn expert now, and they got to price stuff out. Or that one time, what was it, $249 for that Teddy Ruxpin at that Goodwill?
Yeah.
And they didn't even know if it worked.
We used to go to not a Hobby Lobby, Habitat for Humanity.
Oh, that's right.
And some of them have like a thrift store in the front where they got stuff.
Yeah, they got the display cases.
Yeah, and this one, they would have a printout of a eBay printout of the item. Yeah. And how much it's worth on eBay. Yeah. And how much they're selling it for. And it was always the same amount.
Yeah, it was roughly the same. And that wasn't even a completed sale. They just found an auction and printed it off to show you, oh, this is what it's worth. Yeah. And it's like, but you're not giving me a deal. It's Habitat. You sell like stuff that's been torn out of other houses for cheap. But then you're going to do this.
Yeah. You can go in there and get a whole cabinet set for your kitchen for $10, but then they want to sell you some other mess for $300, and it's only worth $20.
Or that one time we were in a Habitat and they had all those collector's plates. That's like the worst bottom out of all of the old collector's things. Porcelain dolls, collector's plates, those figurines, like precious moments. The stuff costs more new than it does aftermarket.
Precious teddies or cherished teddies or whatever it's called.
Snow babies. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that stuff. Yeah. But it aftermarket, rarely does it hold a value. It usually it ends up selling for like a quarter of the original retail. Yeah. But they want full price.
They want more than full price. Especially those, what's the guy name that did the Campbells all the time?
Camels?
Campbell's.
Campbell's.
Yeah. I can't remember the guy name.
Andy Warhol?
Andy Warhol. And all of his painted stuff. Yeah. They always want a ton for him and go, oh, this is the Andy Warhol collection.
Yeah. It ain't an original. Or Norman Rockwell. Yeah. Thomas Kincaid.
Yeah. Thomas Kincaid used to be worth a lot.
Yeah, but now it's just his original pieces that hold the value. All that, people finally realized how much all that merchandise is really out there when they dumped it into the market after he died. Yeah. They held on to it thinking it was going to be worth something and undersold themselves to get rid of it after the fact. But it's just a shame because that was always such fun. Yeah. To go out and find your treasure. It doesn't have to be toys and comics and stuff like what we're looking for. But just going out and finding a deal on some, hey, I could use this. Hey, that's not a bad price. And it's getting rare to come across that anymore. And it's just kind of unfortunate that people are so greedy and heavy-handed and unrealistic.
Yeah, I wanted some pots and pans, and this one yard sale had some $10 each. I'm like, shoot, I could go to Walmart and get a full set for $30.
Oh man!
I'm giving you $10 for a used pot.
Or they're unrealistic about it. Like, try to find a pot with a lid at Goodwill.
Oh yeah, the pot is one price and the lid is another. And then you have to go looking for the lid.
God forbid you put them together. They don't even try. They don't even try.
Oh jeez. But yeah,
I miss those days. I used to do a lot of that. I used to do a lot of yard sailing, especially in the 90s. Used to find tons of stuff, and you just don't anymore. Or and again, it's overpriced. It's bad enough it's mostly junk, but it's overpriced too.
Well, what you do is you find those people that you see on YouTube that always find something, and you contact, hey, can I go out with you the next time you go yard sailing?
Yeah.
Because I want to find some of those deals.
That guy who like 3 days a week, he's got a video where he shows that he got 36 boxed G1 Transformers at a yard sale for $55. That guy. I need to find him. Or the guy that had like 7 totes full of Silver Age comics and he paid $12 for it. Where are these yard sales? Because I'm sure as hell not finding them.
They're not in Georgia.
No.
Shoot.
Certainly not. They weren't in Illinois either.
No.
We didn't have any luck in Illinois either. I haven't had luck since I lived in Kansas. Occasionally. Because there would be like big actual community yard sales where you drive into a neighborhood and somebody was going to have a yard sale, so they all decided to.
Yeah.
And that was fun, but that was like, 15 plus years ago now, since I used to have that kind of luck.
Yeah, well.
Hey, I don't know.
You got to take your wins when they come.
Yeah, like that. Hey,
yeah.
Still found it.
No thermos, but
no thermos, but we'll have to figure out what thermos actually goes with this if we can find an example.
Yeah.
Anyways, thoughts? Do you guys still bother with yard sales? Do you have any luck, or flea markets, or I don't know, thrift stores? Because I'm burned out going to thrift stores too. I don't even want to go anymore, honestly. I'm tired of it, because it's like, do you want? Oh, there's a Goodwill. You want to go? I don't know. I don't know, because it seems like 1 out of every 10 or 12 visits you find maybe one thing.
That one Goodwill, every time we go in there, we come out with the records.
We did find some vinyl records.
And we've been to that one
3 or 4 times.
The last 3 or 4 times we've come out with like a ton of records.
And it's probably just a collection that they got piled up in bins back there and they just trickling out. But yeah. So we have had some fortune with that. I'll give you that one.
With records.
Yeah, with records. But
because Value Village had some lunch boxes one time.
Oh, the prices were nuts.
And those lunch boxes were beat to death.
Yeah, they
had like $75.
They were character lunchboxes, but they looked like this.
No, they look worse.
They were so rusted over. This is supposed to look like this.
Yeah.
Those were rusted over to look like this. So that they had the McDonald's one that you have. And it looked like that. You could barely make out the McDonald's characters.
And they had the Fat Albert one.
Yeah.
All the faces were rusted out. They still wanted $70.
Yeah. And the prices were insane. Missing handles, and I was like, wow, they're crazy.
Oh, geez.
I mean, if I had them on a table, I'd probably sell them for $5 a piece.
Yeah.
They were that beat.
They were really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I like to buy cheap things, but I wouldn't have bought those.
No.
I'm not that bad. Oh, boy.
Anyway, guys, what do you think? I mean, do you still bother? Do you have any luck at all? Do you think that it's another dying genre, a dying connection? Because it's something we all grew up with, and it's something that's been a staple for a very long time. And it's being killed in a lot of communities. Remember when we talked with Daniel from Arkham Comics?
Wow,
and he said that he does a yard sale thing with comic books.
Twice a
year. And I was like, oh, how come you don't do it too often? It's illegal.
You got to have a permit.
They keep track of that. Yeah. And you have to have permission to have the yard sale. And you can only do it twice a year. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But I've heard of things like that in different states where they regulate that, or you got to have a permit. You have to buy a permit to have the yard sale. It's like, what's the point? You may not sell anything, and you've gone and bought a permit. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you get where we're coming from. Share it if you can. Subscribe if you're new, all that good stuff. Check out some of our other videos. We're all in nostalgia here. So you may find something interesting. And if that's it, then what more can we say but thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.